Thank you. This show, not only part of ceremonial, but also quite practically very helpful. Thank you. Elder brothers and sisters, then younger brothers, sisters, indeed, I feel great honor speak in very ancient or very oldest education institution. It's a great honor. When I coming here, I just felt one oldest was the education institution at such place, and then topic human approach. That means, I think 1,000 years. I think over 10, 20, 30,000. I think we human being. Actually, our problem, try to solve through human way. Then eventually, these different sort of, the weapons, or including knife, arrow, these will come. Then we eventually, they develop the way to solve disagreement, use violence. So now today, I think technology highly developed, so the potential of destruction is immensely increased. And also, I think these chemicals or these sort of sophisticated weapons, actually, I think a result of contribution of finest, the minded sort of scientists. I think they never intend to kill, but intend to make contribution for better world. But they sometimes, unfortunately, their findings use their very marvelous intelligence of brain and use for killing, destruction. So ahimsa. So our sort of the method to solve or face disagreement or conflict, you see, rely on use force. Now that we must change. It is actually responsibility of 7 billion human beings. We want happy life. Nobody wants suffering, problem. Meantime, some disagreement, different interests, always there. Within one person, the conflict, way of thinking, morning, noon, afternoon, sometimes the contradictory sort of views, contradictory sort of thoughts, come. That never, I think, except suicide, that's violence. Otherwise, you see, I think we solve through synthesize. So there's some kind of, within one person's mind, some kind of dialogue or synthesize. So now this, we have the ability to implement the conflict in family level, community level, national level, international humanity level. So that I consider way of human approach, human way of approach. When some potential of conflict there, not rely on use force. but show human spirit of reconciliation. Oh, now a little bit hot. So that's ahimsa. Ahimsa does not mean out of afraid, doing nothing, or indifferent. That's not ahimsa. Ahimsa, you see, accept the problem. The possibility becomes violence. And you also have the opportunity or strength, solving that problem through violence. But then deliberately restrain using violence through dialogue. There's a human way of approach. So for this country, ahimsa, concept of ahimsa, over 3,000 years. So my talk, I think very old concept, yet very relevant to today's world. And then perhaps person who going to talk, now 80 years old, nearly 80 years old. So quite it's a fit. The oldest university or institution, very old concept, and speak by old person. So I feel great honor. Now, because of this belief, I always, have the feeling when I meet people, I'm one of you. No differences. You are a human being, I'm a human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically, we are same. And you want a happy life, do not want a problem. Me too. We both have the right to achieve happy life. This is our right. I think the very purpose of our life, I believe, happy life. Reason quite simple. It's a future, no guarantee, not fixed. Uncertainty always there. But we keep our hope, or in spite of some difficulties, hoping we can overcome, or we can reduce these problems. So hope is the basis of our life. If someone who completely lost hope, then that very mental attitude shortens our life. And worst case, suicide, or drugs, alcohol, spoil your body. Eventually, life shortened. So long life, fresh mind, always optimism. Meantime, combined with wisdom, more holistic. One problem you face, okay, this is a problem. I have to face that. I have to solve that. But at the same time, because of look that problem from wider perspective, then that problem, one part of the reality. There are other, this is really hopeful, lot of hopeful signs or hopeful sort of reality also there. So seeing these all because of the more holistic way, then there is always sort of factor to keep hope in spite of some desperate situation. So therefore, we can say purpose of our life is happiness. That I believe in the terms of 7 billion human beings. Then regarding, according for the believers, then of course, different explanation about purpose of our life. But generally, I think all, even religious believe, for a happy life. Nobody follow religious faith for miserable life. No one. So religious faith also one way to bring happy life. So therefore, we all have sort of same right to achieve. Now I use this as a tower survey. No, okay. No problem. Whenever I talk, no formality, no protocol. I don't like too much formality. I don't like. Recently, I was in some place in South India. When I give talk, someone, you see too much sort of, what's it, formality or something. Then I bluntly, you see, express, don't talk such things. Thank you, very kind, thank you. So I really feel I'm talking another human brothers, sisters. You want a happy life, I want a happy life. And more important, we are part of 7 billion human beings. We are social animal. Therefore, in our life, we really need friendship. Is key factor for happy life. Friendship entirely based on trust. Trust only comes when we have mutual sort of sense of concern, right? Mutual happiness, mutual respect, mutual love. That's the basis of trust. When friendship with full trust, with affection, then the peace of mind automatically comes. That also, you see, brings inner strength, self-confidence. That reduces fear. Because fear reduces, frustration reduces, anger reduces. So now these things, not only just, let's say, the ancient Indian, according Indian psychology, including Buddhist psychology, now modern scientists also now saying that constant fear, constant anger, hatred, actually eating our immune system. On the other hand, more compassionate mind, more warm-heartedness, you see, creates peace of mind. But that's very important for our health. Now scientists also say, through their experiment. So therefore, irrespective whether believer or non-believer, so long we are a human being, so long we are the part of social animal, we need love, we need affection here. In order to you receive affection from other, first you must show your affection, then you receive it. As a genuine affection is the khazar, unconditional way, unconditional sort of affection, like mother and child. These are biological factors, not come from religion. I think I'm Buddhist. I think you know major religious tradition, 2 categories, theistic religion, non-theistic religion. Theistic means believe God, creator. Non-theistic, no creator, oneself as a creator. self-creation. Buddhism, Jainism, one part of Sankhyaism, same. So non-theistic religion. So as a non-theistic sort of believer, right? As a Buddhist, you see things. Now the science are very important sort of role. Bring deeper knowledge. So I think you mentioned when you introduced me, you see, this old person, early part study Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy, according to Nalanda tradition. And after come to India as a refugee, at the same time, the longest guest of Indian government. I also have the now opportunity meeting with scientists. Over 30 years, since from childhood, I have keen interest about science and the mechanic, these things. So then, after come to India, I had the opportunity meeting with scientists, eventually number of great scientists. So some way, I had opportunity, not only just myself, but including many scientists and educationists. Now we are trying, we have some concept which is synthesize our traditional, or say the teaching of values, and then scientific findings combined. That can be useful for entire 7 billion human beings. If these moral ethics based only religious faith, then out of 7 billion, 1 billion, over 1 billion non-believer. No way to reach these non-believer. The moral education about moral principle, which based on religious faith, then no way to reach quite substantial sort of number, over 1 billion. And then frankly speaking, I was also talking, even among the believers, some rubbish believer also there. Some corrupted believer. Even some religious leaders, in reality, a little bit corrupted. So these are signs of lack of conviction, the value of moral principle. So even religious believer, in order to be pure, sincere, serious, we need the way of approach about these values, moral principles, through secular way. Now secularism in the West, some my friends, some Christians, some Muslims, say, when I use the word secular, they're a little bit hesitant. You see, many of them, you see, consider secular is a little bit negative towards religious belief and remain something distance from religion. But according to Indian understanding, secularism means respect all religions and also respect non-believer. I think that's not only some ancient sort of thinking, but also very, very, very relevant to today's world. Irrespective whether believer or non-believer, we are human beings. We need human affection. So here, usually, you see, the scientific findings, you see, very, very helpful So some kind of sort of synthesize the part of Buddhist psychology, not as a religious part, but you see, as a sort of academic subject. I usually call science of mind, science of physical. Science of physical, science of particle, physical. Modern science, highly developed, wonderful. Although some Buddhist literature also is mentioned about the particles or atoms and these things mentioned, but quite rough. Just mainly theoretical way. Now scientists, they actually experiment, they show the reality. Particles, atoms, quarks, like that. And then finally, quantum physics. I have keen interest. Here I want to tell you one of my sort of story. When David Bohm and von Weizsäcker, German professor, I received from both lecture on or explanation about quantum physics. Particularly von Weizsäcker, from von Weizsäcker, few occasions I sort of listened, or because I got sort of explanation. So I consider these two physicists, quantum physicists, as my tutor. But I often tell you, but the student of these great two physicists, quite hopeless student, because, when I listen their explanation, it seems I understand something. After that lesson finished, nothing left here. So therefore quite sufficient to say hopeless student. Now again I met, some quantum physicists. So I already, we already fixed afternoon, I want to meet these physicists. Now here, I'm speaker. Afternoon, I'm student. from those professors. I really, very, very eager, very eager. One time, the Indian nuclear physicist, the late Raja Ramana, one occasion in New Delhi, he mentioned to me the quantum physics in the world is something new. He found some writing of Nagarjuna, that means 2,000 years ago. The concept of quantum physics already there, he found. As an Indian, he really feels very proud. The very modern sort of concept of quantum physics in this country over 2,000 years ago already found. He mentioned to me. So the mathematical philosophy, absence of independent existence. So quite similar. So in any way, this country, the secularism, secular concept, I think very, very sort of realistic approach. So now question is, several years, as a result of meeting or discussion with educationists and because of the society called sociologist. One time, I think in San Francisco, one meeting, many sociologists and medical scientists and educationists. They unanimously, they agree the crisis among the youth due to lack of affection in the family, in the society. So therefore, existing education system, wonderful. However, it is something not sufficient, adequate. That is education about moral ethics. The problem, those people who very much interest or who realize the importance of moral ethics, but they usually say moral ethics must be based on believe God or something. So then it cannot be so suitable in secular education field. So India's constitution based on secularism, because when India got independence, India already, through sort of several centuries, India is multi-religious community. So therefore, the constitution of that kind of society, there is no other way except secularism. Respect, equal, all religion, and according, say, some my Indian friend, as I mentioned earlier, over 3,000 years, the school of thought, one school of thought called Charvaka, who deny any value of spirituality. So rest of the school of thought condemn or criticize. But at the same time, people who hold that view refer rishi, means sage. So that shows respect. That's, I think, so that kind of sort of open mind. Respect to all religion and also respect to non-believer. I think today's world really need that. That's a realistic approach. So I usually I'm messenger of India, messenger of ancient Indian thought, Indian knowledge. Wherever I give talk, I carry this message of ahimsa. And with that, the concept of religious harmony. This country, of course, occasionally some problem here and there. That's understandable. About billion populated nation. Some mischievous people always there. That's understandable. But overall, all major religious traditions live together in this country. So that's, I think, really one of sort of the great tradition of India. I always telling in Europe or America, India could be example. Different religious traditions can live together with mutual respect, mutual learning. Particularly at the time now, the religion also becomes source of division, source of conflict, even source of killing. Unthinkable. National interest, political interest, economy interest, sometimes it's violence, very bad. Still, it's quite understandable. Now, religion, which talks? Love. God as a creator, entire humanity created by one source, God or Allah. And meantime, that very belief divided even same nation, or same community divided, and killing. Unthinkable. So, such sort of period. India should be example. Different tradition can live together with secular principle. So now Indian, over 1 billion Indians, you should take more active role. Not only think your own area, your own country, but look, large number of Indians in East Africa, in the Eastern African continent also, you see, there are a lot of Indians. And Arab states also a lot of Indian. In Europe, particularly England, a lot of Indian. In America also. In Australia. So since you see, some time ago, when I met some Indian community, and I suggest them, now India's ahimsa spirit, religious harmony, these, you see, must show to their neighbors wherever they live. So some festivals or something, then they should invite some of their friends and tell, and including Pakistanis, Bangladesh, there's some other people. Yes, we're India. Sometimes I jokingly was telling people, the Shia community in Pakistan, Muslim country, but Shia not very safe. So India, not Islam country, but Muslim much safer here. So sometimes I jokingly tell you, oh, those Pakistan Shia community, I think should come to India, then much safer. So therefore, that's India. So really, so you, my Indian brothers, sisters, and then also perhaps I think I may say Bengali, the great scholar of Nalanda in 8th century, or I think 7th century, 8th century, one great philosopher, a Madhyamika philosopher, and a great logician. His writing, epistemology, is excellent. Sometimes a little difficult, but wonderful sort of text he wrote. And Madhyamika philosophy also. Great scholar and monk. He invited by Tibetan emperor, 8th century. Then his age already over 70-year-old, but he accepted that invitation. Then went to Tibet and established or introduced Buddhism according to Nalanda tradition. So that person, his birthplace is Bengal. He Bengali, educated in Bihar, Mara, Nalanda, like that. And then, that's 8th century. Then George, 11th century, another Bengali, Atisha Dibunkara, also invited by Tibetan emperor. Then Tibet already disintegrated, but western part of Tibet, so a small kingdom, they invited him, he came. At that time, also you see, he also now quite old, then they accepted Tibetan sort of invitation, like that. So, then, because you see, in the past, for example, it's my own case. When I was very young, I reached Lhasa, age, I think 4-year-old, from my birthplace area. Since then, in my ear, the name of Kolkata, quite often, is many Tibetans. Some, you see, visit Kolkata, because you see the very close link through Natula or Jalibla and then Kalimpong or Darjeeling, and then some of them is quite often is to come to Calcutta. So they say, oh, Calcutta, because bridge. One government official, he used to told me, you see, story, his visit Calcutta. Then long bridge, and then zoo. You see, when he explained different animals, so I very much excited. Oh, I wish to see that. Then 1956, I had opportunity to visit zoo of Calcutta. Like that. So we have some close university, because psychologically, mentally, very familiar, close. So these years, you see, quite often visit South India, particularly because of the Karnataka state, because there are a large number of Tibetan settlements. In Calcutta, of course, see, number of occasions I came, but recently I received an invitation from this university, and I'm glad. Now this gives me an opportunity to visit Calcutta once more. Thank you very much. So now main point is, as a human being, we really need friendship, human affection. Everyone have the potential, have human affection, because we come from our mother. Everybody is survived by mother's care and mother's milk. And because of that, now some scientists say basic human nature is more compassionate. Richard Davidson, you see, show some occasion, meeting, public meeting, you see, his show is some sort of, what's it, animation. I don't know. I don't know that word.
Some animations.
Oh, so it's some sort of picture, like cartoon, show to children, age 2, 3 years old. Very, very young, because infant. Infant. The picture shows sort of children helping each other with smile. And then children show a sort of happy smile. When such very young sort of children seeing little negative way, the little sort of little sort of repulse, like that. So that shows basic human nature is more compassionate. Then more important, as I mentioned earlier, constant destructive emotion, very bad for our health. Sort of positive effect, positive emotion, very good for our health. I think in that sense, I think in that field, I think now I can say you, with my own experience, my life, not easy life, a lot of problem. But as far as my mind is concerned, quite peaceful. So my body says to me, oh, your mind quite peaceful, so my body now can work properly. Clear? If my mind constant fear, constant anger, then my body may say, oh, now the body will say, now I cannot support you. Then gradually die, shortened our life. When mind peaceful, calm, body fully supporting. So now, 80 years old, nearly now 80 years old, I think my physical condition, or except my knees, this seems to see no connection with a compassionate mind. But others of blood pressure, stress, this very much related with peace of mind. So result, quite a healthy body, like that. So one day, I hope you see a scientist or medical scientist, I think should create this knees also some connection with compassionate mind. Recently, medical checkup, then they say, now I'm quite old, so you see, it is quite natural. So now only thing is cut. That's I don't like, you see, cut thing like that. So therefore, for individual physical level also, peace of mind, very important. And then obviously, family, peaceful family, also you see these things very, very important. Money, power cannot bring peace of mind. Or more power, more money, more anxiety, more stress. So peace of mind is key factor. And now this peace of mind, not necessarily relying on religious faith. Use common sense through education. So now we are working already. Now I think next month we are going to do some meeting. You see, the secular way to educate about inner values. Nothing to do with religion, no connection with religion. So with help of some American scientists, also some Indian scientists, some educationists, we already carry research now last a few years. So now next month, I think more or less now finalize draft. So once this finalized, then I would like to send this university and receive some comment, some suggestions, including some criticisms. Then we can finalize. Okay. Thank you.